Cool and cloudy here in North Florida here today. Overcast skies, 58 degrees, expecting a high of just around 61, 62 today. It's perfect for football. And week 14, final 4 weeks of the regular season. Jacksonville won the toss. They will defer. There you see Bill O'Brien in his first year as head coach of the Houston Texans. He's saying that this Jacksonville defensive line will be the best that they have faced this year. Certainly the recent history with Jacksonville sweeping Houston last year, a lot on the line for the Texans. And we'll be keeping a close eye on that Colts-Browns game. There's Gus Bradley, the super energetic second-year coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, feeling like he's got the pieces put together. They hope to have a successful final 4 weeks here after their largest comeback win in franchise history last week. Something to build on as they continue this process in North Florida. J.J. Watt, he's already got the Ric Flair going at him. He's whooping up early here today.
I tell you what, J.J. Watt, you know, what can you say about him? He's been the one bright spot on this football team. The season that he's had has been unbelievably dominant. I can't wait to see what he does here today for us.
Damaris Johnson back to receive. Josh Scobie will kick it off. He hit the game winner last week for the Jags. Both of these teams coming off wins. And Johnson will watch this one sail into the mascot's arms. And the Texans will take over. Quite an entry today for that cat. All right, there is Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I guess the big question, Adam, how does he follow up a record-setting day against Tennessee last Sunday?
Well, that's going to be key. You had the 2 weeks off where he spent watching a lot of tape of Tom Brady, the New England Patriots. The key is for him, he wants to make quick decisions, get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible.
And he'll give it to Arian Foster. So patient, turns the corner, and Foster for big yardage. There's a flag on the play. Houston has a big running game. They run it about half the time. Jacksonville.
Number 87 offense. 10-yard penalty.
Carl Cheffers, our referee today. Let's take a look at the Texans offense. Durable offensive line. As a matter of fact, center Chris Myers playing in his 150th consecutive game. Got a dynamic wide receiver duo of Hopkins and Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson is 8 receptions from 1,000 yards in his career. Would be one of the fastest to do it. Fitzpatrick again. It's Foster. And good yardage up ahead after the hold. 6-yard gain for Arian Foster. The Jacksonville D, Adam. Well, you got the battle of the 99s, which we'll be keeping an eye on today. J.J. Watt, of course, for the Texans. But Derek Marks, he is making a mark this year as a pass rusher, has 7 sacks. Got the fleet-footed linebacker Telvin Smith, an up-and-comer, and Demetrius McCray in his second year, a 7th-rounder who has held his own against some of the best receivers in the game this season. Again, it's Foster, his 3rd carry. And up near the 25. Aaron Colvin with the tackle. So 3 plays for the Texans, 3 runs.
Well, they've had a commitment to the run this season, and that's one of the things that Bill O'Brien wanted to instill in his offense. And the fact that they've been able to get Arian Foster back healthy in the running game has been huge. But if you remember back to last week, 3rd downs, Arian Foster was key coming out of the backfield, especially when you have Andre Johnson to his right in the nasty split.
Foster so dangerous out of the backfield as well as a receiver. Fitzpatrick has good wheels as well on the move, and Jacksonville holds in their first opportunity. So the penalty hurts the Texans on the first play. Smith with the tackle.
Well, excellent coverage right here for the Jaguars deep. Nobody is open. You see every one of these wide receivers with a defensive back in their face. And one of the things, what did Bob Babbage say? We've got to make sure we account for Ryan Fitzpatrick on third down scrambling. That's where he's dangerous. That's where he can make something happen. Great job by the defensive lineman, Chris Smith.
Shane Leckler gets away a good punt. Ace Sanders the fair catch. And now it'll be the Jags' turn. Blake Bortles at him fresh off his first career NFL game-winning drive.
It was really the first game this season. At the end, he was in there when it mattered. And so when we talked to him about that comeback victory, he said, look, I did it all the time in college, so I finally got a chance to do it here in the National Football League. But the challenge for him this week, as it is every week, a brand new defense, a brand new defensive coordinator. Everything is new to Blake Bortles from week to week.
Denard Robinson in the backfield with him. And comes up short and behind Cecil Shorts. That looked like it was tipped at the line. The Jaguars on offense. They got a change at right tackle. Sam Young is in there for Austin Pastor, who ruptured his hamstring. That's a big loss for them. Allen Hurns, undrafted free agent. He leads the Jags in touchdowns. He has 5. He's had a terrific season. Rookie out of Miami. Second down. Bortles in the air again. And the flag comes in. A.J. Boye hit for the interference, it looks like. Intended receiver was Cecil Shorts. And yep, that's going to go.
Holding. Number 34 defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Good man-to-man coverage. Boye, number 34, right there on Cecil Shorts. You see the right hand grab the left shoulder pad of Shorts. And that was an easy call.
Houston does get Kareem Jackson back today. You'll see him at corner as well. And out to Shorts again. Got a little room to run. Cecil Shorts for 6 yards on first down. Defensively for the Houston Texans, of course, all eyes on J.J. Watt. The right defensive end, that's only a suggestion. He'll be moving around quite a bit. Whitney Merciless taking over for Jadeveon Clowney. He's the key. And Kareem Jackson back after missing 3 games with a knee injury. Bortles will keep it. And Blake Bortles for a first down. 9-yard game for Bortles. How about J.J. Watt? See what he's up to here.
It's going to be a great matchup. Here he is against Sam Young, the 5th-year right tackle, zone read. Blake Bortles with a very nice read, keeps the ball, gets upfield for a first down.
They got him on the outside. Bortles. The option read gives it to Robinson. And a short game for Denard Robinson. J.J. Watt on the tackle. He and Brian Cushing combining for the tackle. Now Denard Robinson in his first full season as a full-time running back. The former Michigan quarterback. His development continues here in Jacksonville.
Hey, Mike 25, Mike 25. Over. Mike 34, counter. Alpha down. Green 80. Green inside.
Bortles. And the quick hitter. There's Hurns. So third down and short for Jacksonville. First completion and reception for Hurns. How about the keys?
Well, Jacksonville, they've got to have first down success. So far today, they've done that. 3 3-and-outs in a row to start the game last week. And defensively, at times, they have been suspect in the secondary. You can't allow DeAndre Hopkins and Andre Johnson to get behind you.
Jed Fish, offensive coordinator, back in the NFL, actually worked for the Texans in their inaugural year as a whistle comes in. Jacksonville set up in the Wildcat formation. That's a timeout on the field for the Texans. Underway, first quarter from North Florida. Stay with us.
Hey.
It'll be third down for Jacksonville. Again, the Jags going in the Wildcat. They had a personnel miscommunication, and they called the timeout. Robinson can throw it, and it's knocked down. Brooks Reed bats it down.
This is an interesting take. This is the Wildcat formation, and on 3rd and 2, maybe you're thinking zone read. Denard Robinson keeps the ball, goes to the edge, but they're trying to sneak out Cecil Shorts out of the backside. You get great pressure up inside by J.J. Watt. Brooks Reed comes in for secondary support. Nicely played by the Houston defense. And how about this? Gus Bradley dialing it up on 4th and 2.
Well, taking a page out of the Texans playbook from last week against Tennessee on their opening drive. And Bortles trying to get him to jump off sides. Not going to work, so the Texans disciplined on the line.
4th down.
And now Jacksonville will punt it away.
Now, one of the things, Brian, that Jetfish has to do, and one of the things that he has done is creativity. I don't know if they really have the personnel to be able to match up in a traditional formations and move the ball against this defense. So be heads up for a lot of different formations. You saw the little wrinkle to the Wildcat formation for Denard Robinson, but that's going to be a big part of their offense as they try and move the ball here today.
Keyshawn Martin back to return. There's Brian Anger to punt it away. And a short punt, fair catch for Martin, and Houston drive number 2. J.J. Watt got his hands on Denard Robinson, knocked down by Reed. Texans hold on their first opportunity defensively. One of the many Jaguars at the Jacksonville Zoo as the Texans take over their second possession. And from the shotgun, Fitzpatrick, Hopkins on the receiving end. And that'll be a first down for Houston. And Adam, how about the keys for the Texans?
Run, Arian Foster, run. They have to be able to establish the running game. Bill O'Brien said it starts and ends with our running game. And I think for the defense, you got to bottle up Bortles. Do not allow him to scramble in his movement passes. Get to him, get pressure in his face, try and make him enforce a mistake.
Fitzpatrick falls down. The Texans fortunate not to lose the football there. Fitzpatrick just ate it. Chris Myers stepped on his foot. He tripped him.
Yeah, a little trip action as he's trying to hand off the stretch right to Arian Foster.
Same thing happened last week against the Titans. A 6-touchdown performance against Tennessee. That was one of the few things that didn't go right for Houston last week. What a performance in that victory as Fitzpatrick returned to the starting lineup. Short game stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Derek Marks, the other 99 to keep an eye on today.
He's so quick off the line of scrimmage playing the run, and what he does such a good job of is using his hands, and especially one of the things he talked about in our meetings yesterday is how he likes to flip his hips, get skinny. That's exactly what he did. Got on the backside of that offensive guard, made the play on the line of scrimmage.
First time in his football career he's wanted to get skinny. Third down and long for the Texans. A little screen for Johnson. Nowhere to go. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Holding serve again. Chris Clemens snuffed it out. Ryan Davis was there as well.
The 2 drives in a row. Of course, they were aided by Ryan Fitzpatrick falling in the backfield. But when you're 3rd and long like this, you don't have a lot of options. You don't want to take any unnecessary risks. And for the 2nd drive in the row, the Jacksonville defense doing its job.
Leckler to Ace Sanders. He clears the way. Another short punt with the wind blowing in from that direction. And Jacksonville will take over at midfield. The Jags defense setting up the Jags offense. Blake Bortles back on the field. Oh, I love this matchup. A lot of headlines for J.J. Watt. He's making a run at an MVP, but Derek Marks He's making a run at a Pro Bowl this year. Big on that last possession. Watt back on the field. Great field position for the Jags. And Bortles at midfield. And a design rollout and almost intercepted by Muhammad, in and out of the hands of Mercedes Lewis.
How about that for Romeo Crennel? The first 2 drives of the game, they line up J.J. Watt to the defensive left, and he was completely dominating Sam Young. So what does Jed Fish do? Let's do a rollout to our left. Let's get away from J.J. Watt. Well, now J.J. Watt lining up on the right side and forcing the pass.
Mike 50 down. Green 80.
Watt back over there on Young.
Green inside.
And Bortles to Denard Robinson. And second effort gets him a modest gain. 3 yards on the carry.
It's so big and so important for Denard Robinson to have success. And really, you know, it's tough on him. This is the first year he's ever truly played running back. Last year, he was more of a wide receiver, running back combo. They didn't really know what they wanted to do, but he's focused on it. He's put on 20 pounds, and he's really done a nice job when he's gotten his opportunities.
Pass protection has been an issue for him, so Gerhardt is on here. Another design roll and caught. Marquise Lee, and a first down for Jacksonville, and a good hookup from Bortles to Lee, 26 yards.
Well, this is what you're going to see from Blake Bortles. This is what he likes to do, where he feels comfortable. Toby Gerhardt takes care of the backside on Watt, and as soon as he leaves the pocket, he's able to identify the open receiver and puts it on target.
Ton of interceptions early. It's just the 10th start of the career of Bortles. He's really cleaned it up here lately, however. And Gerhardt gets the ball, spins his way for a nice little gain on first down. Brian Cushing with his first tackle.
Well, I watched the inside stunt from Watt, lining up outside of the tight end. He gets chipped. Nice job and nice recognition by Sam Young to not allow him that penetration, but they do so many different things with him. You never know what you're going to get from snap to snap. It's got to be very challenging for an offensive lineman to prepare for Watt.
Easy, easy, easy. Hey, Lion. Lion. Alpha, down. Green 80. Green inside.
Bortles steps back. The flag comes in, and he overshoots his man. Intended receiver Cecil Shorts.
Offside. Number 99 defense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
J.J. Watt offsides.
There he is right here, trying to get that extra jump, timing up the snap count, understanding that it's got to come because so much time was taken at the line of scrimmage by Bortles, changing the play. It's a little bit too fast.
So Jacksonville, 4 first downs. It's their second possession. Great field position here. Denard Robinson turns a corner at the 10 and knocked down at the 7. Denard Robinson gets the Jags close to home. A 16-yard pickup.
A terrific block by his fullback, Will Tafo'o, to seal the linebacker and get to the edge. Denard Robinson, that's what he brings to this offense. He's got speed. He's got breakaway ability. And an excellent drive here for the Jaguars. Now, the key for them, they've struggled to get offensive touchdowns. They've got to be able to capitalize and get a touchdown out of this drive.
Tafo'o and Gerhardt in the backfield. And it goes to Gerhardt. He's looking for the edge. Inside the 5 he goes. Jared Crick running him down from behind. And it'll be second and goal for the Jags.
It's so important for Jacksonville to get early success offensively. Remember when he talked to Jed Fish, he said, look, by the time we looked up at the scoreboard last week against the Giants, we were down 21 points, and we only had 9 plays on offense at that point. So far, converting, moving down the field, now you got to be able to cash it.
Much different feel, much different tempo to start this one. Bortles on the roll. Bortles looking for someone. Good coverage. He fires one to the line, and it's caught. Hearns, touchdown, Jacksonville.
initial read was to Fo'o out of the backfield, but the Texans doing a good job with their eyes, staying disciplined, but then it's about Hearns working on Jonathan Joseph because of the time that Bortles bought by getting outside of the pocket. Perfectly thrown pass and a great catch by Hearns, going low and securing the catch.
The rookie, two rookies hooking up there, Bortles and Hearns, and beating the terrific corner Jonathan Joseph, who's been nursing an ankle injury this week. 6th touchdown for Allen Hearns that leads the Jags, as they'll take a look at this one, as they do on all scoring plays. We'll take a timeout. Back here in Jacksonville.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
There you have it. They took a look at it. And Allen Hearns with touchdown number 6. Well, what a story he has been this year. His first 2 receiving touchdowns came on his first 2 receptions this year. And he has kept the theme alive. So Scobie for the extra point. And what a start for Jacksonville. They go 7 plays, 50 yards, and the rookies hooking up. Blake Bortles, Allen Hearns, the Jags on top. Howdy and cool. Jacksonville takes it down. Second possession. They go 7 plays, 50 yards, a 4-yard hookup from Bortles to Hearns. And the Jags have the lead. And you talk about going for broke, Adam, with Jacksonville. That wrench is tightening on the Texans. They know they must win out. And now they find themselves down early here in Jacksonville. Take it back to the touchdown.
Well, that was a perfect drive. And watch Allen Hearns as he works on Jonathan Joseph. This is just working throughout the play, never giving up. Joseph is in great position, but you see the little shake right there to get him off of his mark. Comes back and Bortles identifies him, gives him the ball. I mean, what a drive. 4 receptions on his own did Hearns have on that drive. It's nice to see a quarterback have that kind of chemistry with a young wide receiver.
Third possession here for Houston. Fitzpatrick in the shotgun, and Foster. And he breaks free, a quick hitter. Arian Foster on the move at the 50 to the 40, and a cut back down he goes. A big run for Arian Foster. For a good answer after the touchdown. It goes for 51 yards.
Oh, Chris Myers gets up inside on the linebacker Telvin Smith. Jonathan Cyprien gets crackbacked on by DeAndre Hopkins. And Arian Foster has such a knack of how to find the holes. And he's one of the biggest play running backs in the National Football League this year. 25 runs of 10 yards or more.
That's the biggest play of them all for him this season, a season high. It had been 43. And now out to Andre Johnson. Well, you talk about the Texans and how they like to run the football more than half the time. 32.5 rushes per game this year.
I think part of that is because they wanted to relieve pressure off of their passing game. Last week, they were incredible because they were able to take care of the ball and throw the ball. But when you make a defense try and center on Arian Foster, it opens up so many more things on the perimeter.
Foster again. Decent yardage for Arian Foster. Foster is making his way towards another 1,000-yard season. Came in 99 yards away from another 1,000-yard season, which would be his 4th in his 5 years in the NFL. He played in just 9 games last year. His season ended with a back injury. 3rd down, 7 for the Texans. Fitzpatrick, and that is in and out of the hands of Foster. Great coverage by Telvin Smith.
Well, he was such a big part of their 3rd down package last week, especially when they got down in the red zone. And he is hard to cover out of the backfield. He has such a nice feel for his pass routes, but they knew that Telvin Smith was an athletic linebacker, that it was going to be a much tougher matchup this week than they had last week. Nice job by Smith, the rookie, breaking up that pass.
So it'll be a 44-yard attempt for Bullock. And this one is true. And after the big run by Arian Foster, the Texans, after giving up a touchdown to Gus Bradley's Jags, answer with a field goal. And how about that Week 10 upset? Arizona and a defeat of the St. Louis Cardinals. Or St. Louis Rams, I beg your pardon. The Cardinals over the Rams, 31-14. Arizona running into a little bit of a hard time. They've made a quarterback change after the injury to Palmer, sitting there at 9-3.
Well, you got to feel for Bruce Arians, and he's just a guy that I know I would love to play for. But I just think too many injuries, too many things to overcome with the quarterback. And now Andre Ellington, he's hurt.
Todman thought about it and was suggested to stay back. Let's talk about the big play to set up the field goal.
Well, you get two key blocks. The first one is DeAndre Hopkins, the crackback on Jonathan Cyprien, and then Chris Myers getting up on Telvin Smith. Two of the interior run defenders, and then you see once he sees that hole, he has that acceleration, and he's so smooth the way he runs. I mean, he's getting that 1,000 yards. It's been a quiet 1,000 yards for him this season, but one of the top running backs in the National Football League.
He missed 3 games. That was a 51-yarder, his longest run of the year. Sets up a 5-play field goal drive as Bortles misfires, too tall for Cecil Shorts. Jacksonville taking advantage of excellent field position on their last possession, set up by their terrific defense, especially their defensive line.
This is the first drive of the game that they have to start and go 80 yards. And so it's vital for them to at least try and get to around midfield. Do not allow the Texans to get the ball with good field position after this drive.
And Robinson gets it. Pushes the pile forward. And it'll be a 3rd down for Jacksonville. Well, J.J. Watt primarily today lining up over Sam Young. He's moved a little, not as much as we saw last week against Tennessee.
And right now he's lined over across from Luke Jokel, last year's 2nd pick in the draft.
Watt coming from the right, the blind side. Bortles, and he will run it, and Bortles comes up short. That was Whitney Merciless who grabbed him from behind.
Now, Whitney Merciless didn't have the best year last year, and he started for Jadeveon Clowney at the outside linebacker position. And when you talk to Bill O'Brien, he says he and DeAndre Hopkins, 2 of the most improved players on the team this year. He has had an excellent season. Nice job fighting off the block, falling inside, and forcing the Jaguars to punt.
Keyshawn Martin. And Martin looking for blockers. Still on his feet, out of bounds near midfield, so Houston will have great field position. First quarter in the books. Jacksonville with a touchdown, Houston with a field goal. It's 7-3. Start of the second quarter here in North Florida. Jacksonville 7-3. The Jags have the lead. Bortles to Hearns for a touchdown. Now Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Texans back to work. Empty backfield. And across the middle, caught and hammered down. First down is Andre Johnson. His 2nd catch. How about last week? The Ivy Leaguer Ryan Fitzpatrick from Harvard. Anytime you can get Sid Luckman, who was a Columbia man, in there, you're doing something right. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, what a performance last week against his old team, Tennessee. There's Foster again. He breaks free again. Foster putting up some big yardage today. And immediately the Texans, who started with their best field position inside the red zone. That'll be a 19-yard pickup for Foster.
The offensive line does the job up front, but as a running back, you got to make that one guy miss, and that's exactly what he does to the cornerback, Demetrius McCray. One-on-one situation, Arian Foster wins.
Foster met by Cyprian. Jonathan Cyprian leads this Jacksonville team in tackles. And a short gain of 1 for Houston.
It's one of the things that Bob Babbage talked about, yes, last week. Ryan Fitzpatrick, DeAndre Hopkins, Andre Johnson. The passing game was exceptional, but they said we must stop Arian Foster. So far, they have failed to do that.
Jay Prosh joins Foster in the backfield. Fitzpatrick, and he's got his man inside the 10. And again, Andre Johnson, catch number 3.
Well, I think they were trying to get Foster out of the backfield, and he was covered. Zone coverage, Andre Johnson running a crossing route against zone coverage. Fitzpatrick goes through his progression, finds the little empty hole right there, and sets the offense up with a 3rd and medium opportunity.
Tracking Johnson today, now 5 catches away from 1,000 in his career. Could be one of the fastest to do it. Big play here, 3rd down 5.
I wouldn't be surprised if they target Johnson. He's in the slot in motion right now.
And there is Johnson, sprung open and loses the football after he's belted by Telvin Smith. Johnson is down. The helmet and the ball popped out. There is a flag down as the athletic trainers tend to Andre Johnson. That was a big hit by Telvin Smith.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Personal foul, number 50 defense. For illegal contact on a defenseless player. Half the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
So the penalty on Telvin Smith. And it'll be first down and goal to go for the Texans. We'll take a timeout. Well, I can tell you that Andre Johnson did walk off the field under his own power. First down after the penalty. And it's Arian Foster bottled up for little to no gain. Big hit, Telvin Smith. Andre Johnson, just by the way he was holding his arms, you feel like maybe he lost consciousness for a moment.
That's exactly what it looked like. He's running an underneath, a crossing route. Telvin Smith is reading Fitzpatrick. And yes, the helmets did collide. See it in slow motion right there. That's tough. I think maybe by today's standard, it's a helmet-to-helmet hit. But it's very tough when bullets are flying down low in the tight red area for a defensive player.
That's a key penalty on this drive for the Texans, which could have stalled. Now 2nd and goal, and a design run for Fitzpatrick in the end zone. Touchdown! The Texans back on top, and their quarterback takes it into the end zone.
Well, you don't see that very often. You know he's a scrambler, but this is designed quarterback run all the way. Alfred Blue, the running back, is the lead blocker. Ryan Griffin, the tight end. And then it's Fitzpatrick getting to the boundary, cutting up field, and getting in for a rushing touchdown.
7-play, 52-yard drive. Bill O'Brien allows his quarterback to take it in. And the Texans up 10-7. 2nd rushing touchdown of the season for Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was benched for 2 games. Back in a big way with his arm last week. Does it with his legs in the 2nd quarter today. Andre Johnson got a big ovation as he was walking off the field. These Jacksonville fans recognizing the kind of player he is. Good to see him on his own power here, Adam, after a vicious hit by Telvin Smith a moment ago. Headed to the locker room.
Yeah, I've been there before, the exact same situation, and I certainly think that he lost consciousness on that hit. You could tell by the way he was laying his arm. But the good news is, yes, he's walking off the field, but
we will see if he will be able to return here today. Keep an eye on Johnson. Smith delivered the hit. It was a penalty, set up a first down, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick with his 2nd rushing touchdown. Got to go back to September 21st when he had a rushing touchdown against the New York Giants. So 10-7 Houston. 11:45 remaining in the first half. Texans have scored on their last 2 possessions as Todman awaits the kick. And Randy Bullock sends it halfway in the end zone, and Todman's going to give it a shot. Todman out near the 25. Mike Muhammad brings him down. Jacksonville first down. Well, Week 14 continues later today on Fox. Then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN from Lambeau and the Falcons and the Packers. Well, what a resurgence here for Ryan Fitzpatrick the last 2 weeks. See if Bortles and the Jags can respond. Bernard Robinson knocked down at the 30. Akeem Dent with his second tackle. A 5-yard gain for Robinson.
That big hole right there. Sam Young getting up to the linebacker. And there was a lot of running room right there for Bernard Robinson. Those are the runs that they have to have. You must average at least 4 yards on first down for this offense to have continued success.
And there's J.J. Watt. Watt with his first sack. Has 12 and a half this year and nowhere to hide for Blake Bortles.
Well, how fast does he get up the field to attack Blake Bortles? Bortles doesn't even have a chance to get outside and try and attempt that pass. That was sniffed out from the jump. In every game, you never know how it's going to be, but Watt makes an impact.
7-yard loss. Sam Young having a tough time with J.J. Watt. And who's it on here?
I think that's on J.J. Watt,
which would be his second. 12 and a half sacks, and has sacks in 7 of his last 8 games. But for the second time this afternoon, he jumps off sides. Romeo Crennel, defensive coordinator. 32 years in the NFL. He's got Super Bowl rings galore. Gerhardt in the backfield gets the ball. Nice hole for him to run it. A first down. Toby Gerhardt. The power run ahead for a first down.
Well, watch him. Watch the hole right there. Watch the back block by the center, Luke Bowenko, getting up to the linebacker right there, Mike Mohammed. And then this is what they brought Toby Gerhardt to do. We want him to be physical up inside. He runs over the safety, gives the Jaguars a first down.
Bill O'Brien and the Texans take a timeout. Toby Gerhardt, signed here in Jacksonville to be the #1, was looking forward to that chance. Had a multi-year contract. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury this week. And now finds himself backing up Bernard Robinson. Now J.J. Watt, how about his week last week? I mean, the height machine is as high as it could be, but Watt deserves it all. A dominating performance against the Titans.
I don't know if I've ever been a part of somebody that has so much height. Yes, it's so well deserved, but last week, huge game, the 2 sacks, the forced fumble, and the recovery, and then he caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown reception as a tight end.
Get it out of the hands of Shorts and almost intercepted as Kendrick Lewis had a shot at that tipped ball. Joseph on the coverage. Joseph was beat for the touchdown by Allen Hurns in the lone Jacksonville score. Now Watt just seems to handle it all well. He says all I'm doing on the field, the work of the community, all the news about it is a product of that, and he's done a good job. His teammates love him. In the Wildcat formation, Robinson to Todman. Bernard Robinson has attempted a pass here today already.
I thought it was interesting when we talked to JJ yesterday and we talked to Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator. They have a lot of trust. and they move him around, but a lot of that is up to him. After the first couple of series, he tries to get a feel for where the matchup might be, and he, a lot of the times, makes the call himself. Right now, he chooses to line up over Luke Jokel, the left tackle.
Blitz coming, and a quick hitter as Mercedes Lewis, a big gainer, a first down. So Bortles finds his tight end for 20, and the Jags move the chains again.
Well, what about Mercedes Lewis? He's been injured this year. He was probably supposed to be a security blanket for Blake Bortles. Not a lot of action, only 3 catches for 3 yards in the last 2 games, but a big catch on third down to move them down the field.
He is the most accomplished tight end in franchise history. There's Gerhardt. The cut back. And not much there for Toby Gerhardt. Jeff Tarpinian, his second tackle.
I think when you look at this offense today, this is kind of what Jed Fish wants to see, the balance. And that's because they've been in it so far in this game, and they could play their game. They can run with Denard Robinson. They can run with Toby Gerhardt. They can pick their sparks with Bortles and allow him to get outside the pocket on those bootlegs. But the key to having this kind of balance is the success on the ground on first down.
Robinson in the backfield, and it's Bortles looking to throw and lets it go down the middle and dropped. Clay Harbor had it right in his hands. A flag comes in.
I think that's going to be an unnecessary roughness at the end of the play by DJ Swearinger, who went low on Clay Harbor. You're going to see right at the end of the play, Harbor drops it, and you see DJ go right there and attacks the helmet. That is a huge penalty on the Texans defense. That one's pretty clear. I think the one on Telvin Smith was close. That one right there, you're not going to get away with that.
Well, that would have been a third down. So 2 key personal fouls here. One against Houston this time. One, remember, against Jacksonville on the other end that led to that Houston touchdown. So Swearinger, who said he was licking his chops to face Blake Bortles.
See a little wildcat, Denard at quarterback. Will he throw it?
So 4-time today. And on the read option, Robinson keeps the ball and is bottled up quickly.
You can see he held the mesh point so long. And as we go back at that last play, Clay Harbor is open in the middle of the field. He does a great job of finding the zone. Bortles puts it right there in the hands, exactly where you want it. He flat dropped it, but he's bailed out by the poor decision of DJ Swearinger.
Harbor thought of as the receiving tight end for the Jags.
Take it. 380. 380.
Bortles rips one across the middle. There's Marquise Lee. And another rookie hook up for the Jags.
Well, it's glad to see Marquise Lee getting involved. He was non-existent here in the first quarter. Last week had his best game of the season. But Blake Bortles senses the blitz coming from the Houston Texans, getting the ball out on time, and a nice pickup by Marquise.
Marquise Lee out of USC. His first touchdown of his NFL career last week. 3rd down and 1. That's Todman in the backfield. Bortles as the Jags are in the Wildcat, and a play we saw in practice where Bortles steps in, pushes it across, and it's going to be close. We'll see.
I don't know if I've ever seen that, but when this was happening, I'm like, why is Bortles motioning into the back? What are they going to do, be a lead blocker inside?
I was saying 4th down, so he didn't get it. Got to make sure you get your hands under the right guy.
That's a new wrinkle to the quarterback sneak. I thought, what is happening right here? They can't possibly snap this, and he tries to catch them off balance, but a nice push up inside by the Texans defensive line. I'm surprised he didn't get that.
Yeah, Brian Cushing had the hit that kept him out of the first down. Timeout on the field. Duval County, downtown Jacksonville. After a Gus Bradley timeout, they decide to attempt a field goal, 33-yard attempt for Josh Scobie, and he's got it. And so the Jaguars, 12 plays, 59 yards, ends in a field goal. We're tied at 10 in the second quarter. All tied at 10 here in the second quarter. 5:53 remaining in the first half. A 12-play, 59-yard drive for Jacksonville. Remember the big play, the penalty, personal foul of Swearinger after the drop by Harbor. It set up Bortles and the Jags, and it ends in a 33-yard field goal by Scobie. So all tied at 10. Demarius Johnson back to receive, and Scobie boots it into the end zone. Here comes Johnson, and he's wrestled down at the 16-yard line. Saturday, it's the only game that stands alone. All guts, all grit, all glory. It's the Army-Navy game. The excitement begins with college football today, with special bonus coverage on CBS Sports Network at noon Eastern. This year's game in Baltimore.
Air Force taking the Commander-in-Chief trophy.
Texans ball, 5:47 in the first half. Alfred Blue in the backfield. And it's Blue who gets the ball. And he's strung out. Let's check in with JB and the coach in New York for an update.
Andy Dalton playing inspired.
Andy Dalton's an athlete. Remember, he caught a reception earlier in the year. This time, 20 yards out, keeps the ball on the run option. They take the lead 14-7 over Pittsburgh.
They have to call Boomer Esiason the quarterback whisperer, Brian Anderson, and Adam Archuleta.
All right, JB, thanks. You know, if the Steelers lose and Houston hangs on, they'd each be 7-6. Pittsburgh, as of right now, holds the tiebreaker.
Pittsburgh cannot lose.
A little mistiming there. Intended receiver was Keyshawn Martin. Ball was there before he turned. It's interesting talking to Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he calls it his personal bye weeks when he was benched for 2 weeks. But he did say he went and watched a lot of tape, and he watched a lot of New England Patriots film with Tom Brady, and the timing, the pace of his releases was something he felt like he could do a better job of, and he certainly showed that last week.
3rd and 9. Look for a wide receiver screen right here. You don't want to take any unnecessary risks and give Jacksonville the ball down in this area.
That's Foster in the slot. And Fitzpatrick going for the big ball, and he overshoots Keyshawn Martin. Not a whole lot there anyway. So a punt coming for Houston. Jonathan Grotz with the coverage.
Yeah, you can see, Fitzpatrick didn't really like what he saw. I'm not quite sure he wanted to go downfield for Martin. That's why the ball was overthrown so much. Good coverage by Dwayne Grotz. Even better job by that defense, giving their offense with a chance right before halftime.
This is Deron Robinson. And a flag coming in. So Ace Sanders with the return, but a flag. Could be on Chris Smith for a block in the back. We'll see what they come up with here.
Well, that'll really push him back.
By the receiving team on the play. Holding during the kick. Number 92. That penalty accepted. Illegal block in the back. Number 98. That penalty is declined. First down. Timeout.
So Jacksonville will have the ball. 4:47 remaining in the first half. We'll take a break. Yeah, it's not too cool to jump in the pool. One of the great features here. in Jacksonville. Well, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. It's all coming up. Verizon Halftime Report. Worst field position so far today for Jacksonville. 57-yard punt, tack 10 more on with a penalty. And Bortles with the quick hitter to Marquise Lee out across the 20. Jonathan Joseph on the coverage for Houston.
Brian, this is a critical drive right here for Jacksonville because you get the ball back after halftime, but you've got to be able to sustain something. Do not give Houston the ball with the chance to score before halftime. You've got to be able to take this thing down the field.
Lee in motion, and Bortles finds him, makes one miss, two miss, makes three miss, and powers ahead for the first down. The run after catch, the explosive rookie Marquise Lee.
Yeah, Marquise Lee is starting to find himself. He had a very slow start to the beginning of the year. He's had some injury issues, but the run after the catch is what he has to be able to bring to this offense. He was one of the most dynamic players in college football. They're getting him involved early.
Bortles shakes merciless. Here comes Watt. Watt delivers a blow, and the pass incomplete. Intended receiver Denard Robinson. By the way, that play to Marquise Lee considered a rush, was a lateral. And J.J. Watt making his presence known. Bortles did a good job getting rid of this one.
He held the ball for an awfully long time. They were trying to take a shot downfield. The coverage was excellent by the secondary of the Texans. And that just shows you kind of how relentless J.J. Watt is. He could have given up, but he keeps going throughout the whistle and gets a shot on the quarterback.
J.J. Watt calls the timeout, and he is barking orders. Personnel problems for the Texans. Bill O'Brien of the Texans calling a timeout. Bortles and Robinson had it right in his hands, misses the catch. Offensive line of the Jags did a good job today, only one sack. Bortles was sacked 7 times last week against the Giants. Going up top, and Lee pulls it down. What a catch! Marquise Lee, and the Jags are on the move.
Incredible effort by Lee. One-on-one coverage. The coverage was outstanding downfield by A.J. Boye, and he goes up over the top, keeps his concentration, and hauls down the big pass from Bortles.
31-yard gain. Shorts makes the catch. Still on his feet, will run out of bounds. Well, Jacksonville's confidence as an offense flying high after their game-winning drive last week. Let's see if he got that. Looked like that was tipped at the line. Looked like Kareem Jackson got it. Shorts ruled a catch. And a few yards after the reception for Shorts.
Well, Brian, how about Marquise Lee? You know, there's so much adversity that he had to climb through at the beginning of the season, and they're finding ways and finding things that he does well.
Play action, Bortles avoids Cushing, avoids Crick, lets it go, and it's caught, and it's a first down. Mercedes Lewis catching in traffic, and Jacksonville another first down.
Brian Cushing blitzes off of the right guard, Zane Beadles. And Blake Bortles eludes that pressure, keeps the play alive. And here this drive, we've seen some of these young players make big plays for this offense.
Just get it off. Bortles to Robinson. And a short game. Under 2 we go. 10-10 Jacksonville on the drive, though. We'll take a break. Don't forget, coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB and the guys, they'll cover it all. Scores and highlights. A bunch of games going on right now with playoff implications. Verizon Halftime Report. 2nd down 9. Jacksonville driving. And Robinson, the intended receiver. So now 3rd down. This drive Now 9 plays, Adam. It started at the Jacksonville 14-yard line. They're chewing up some time as well.
Yeah, it was a very effective drive. I think, you know, in a perfect world, you want to be able to grind the clock all the way out and score 6 points. Now, you've had to average or non-plays on first and second down. It sets you up on a 3rd and 9. Certainly not the 3rd down conversion that this offense is used to converting.
Gebhardt's in the backfield with Bortles. And Gebhardt on the screen. Gebhardt across the 20. First down, Jacksonville. Toby Gerhart.
For the second time today, the first time he got the first down on a run with the extra effort. This time they set up a screen pass to him. He gets a good block by Sam Young, but really the end of this run is about the determination to keep the drive alive.
13-yard gain. Jags are 4 for 7 on 3rd down conversions and incomplete. Hearns the intended receiver.
This is what this drive was supposed to look like. Getting the ball with 4:47 left in the first half, starting on your own 14-yard line. You've seen the youth that we've talked about with this team. Guys have made plays. Bortles has managed this offense. Now the next step is to be able to pick this or cash this in and try and get a touchdown.
Take it 5-4. Down. 380.
A light mist falling here. Bortles rips it to the sideline, looking for Lee. Joseph on the coverage.
The Texans brought the house. This was an all-out blitz. They brought one more blocker than the Jaguars could block, forcing Bortles to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Couldn't quite connect with Marquise Lee, and here you have another 3rd and 10. They just converted a 3rd and 9. Tough to do twice in one drive.
See the numbers for Blake Bortles. 3rd down. 4 conversions so far for Jacksonville, and that's batted down. J.J. Watt gets his big mitts on it.
Well, this is the hardest thing when trying to deal with Watt. He rushes the passer. So you say, okay, we're going to try and get rid of the ball quickly. Look how he stopped. He knew right away on Bortles' second step that he was going to run a 3-step pass. He waits for it. He times it. He's been working on catching those in practice. I won't be surprised to see him pick one off and go the other way one of these days.
He does have an interception this year. Scobie from 37 yards to give Jacksonville the lead. He's got it. And the Jags with an impressive drive. They were back to their 14-yard line to start it. Gus Bradley's offense goes 13 plays, 67 yards. And the knockdown by Watt results in a Jacksonville field goal.
He's got such an uncanny ability, J.J. Watt, coming off. Look how he stops. He knows right now there is no way I'm going to be able to get to the quarterback. This is 3-step. I'm going to try and pick this ball off. I don't know why teams and quarterbacks even throw 3-step in his direction.
You can see the frustration on Jordan Todman as well. Like, what am I supposed to do? J.J. Watt making a run at MVP, would be the first since '86. Lawrence Taylor to be a defensive player to do it, and he's been impactful today.
Well, he has. From a numbers perspective, you say, okay, he only really has 1 sack, which is great, but it's all the stuff he does, like the batted pass, putting pressure on the quarterback, getting hits on the quarterback. And I tell you what's so impressive is coming into this game, 68 hits and hurries on the quarterback. He doesn't get flagged. For a guy that's that big and puts that much abuse on quarterback, he doesn't get penalties.
Jacksonville kicks it off after the field goal. And Houston will start their possession at the 20. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has a rushing touchdown today. Jacksonville went down, scored the first touchdown. Houston answered with 10 unanswered points. And now Jacksonville has responded with 10 unanswered as a little heavier rain begins to fall. 1:09 remaining in the first half.
The one thing this defense has not been able to do today is contain Arian Foster. He's going to be the key to this drive.
And Foster. And it's going to be Fitzpatrick to run. And he'll be content to run out of bounds. Good gain for the Texans quarterback, using his legs quite a bit today. In his 10th year out of Harvard. And what a comeback story. Ryan Mallett started 2 games. Mallett went out with an injury, a torn pectoral muscle. Second week back for Ryan Fitzpatrick after his benching. One he said he didn't agree with, but he learned a few things. Foster, shifty, and he is wrestled down. Good tackle, Telvin Smith.
Oh, great tackle inside by Telvin Smith. He started to one gap, and Arian Foster, famous for that little jump cut, tried to break it and cut it back, but Smith was able to mirror him and make the play in the hole, force the 3rd and 3.
Well, Jacksonville calls a timeout here on a 3rd down for Houston. Jacksonville hoping to get the ball back. Remember, they will have the ball to start half number 2. A reminder that next Sunday, the NFL on CBS features division showcases in the AFC East. It's the Dolphins and the Patriots, while the Steelers battle the Falcons, or it's Broncos-Chargers in the Wild Wild West. Check local listings beginning with JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, Boomer on the NFL today.
Oh, there's so much good ball left to play, isn't there, in the last 4 weeks of the season?
And Houston knows there's so many teams, all but 4 teams in the AFC 500 or better. Wide open race. Houston at 6-6. They know they're going to have to win out. Houston 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions today. It's Patrick. Oh, almost intercepted. J.T. Thomas was right there. But Jacksonville will get the ball back. And now Houston 0 for 6 on 3rd down this afternoon.
Well, Chris Clemens gets a great jump off of the left side. And then Thomas is reading the eyes right there. Not both Thomas and Telvin Smith right there in the window. And those plays right there for a team that doesn't have a lot of interceptions this season. You get a pick right there. That's huge for your team.
That was Marks and Smith with the pressure. Here's Sanders looking for something here. And Sanders will finally be wrestled down at about the 27-yard line. So Blake Bortles and the Jags with 34 seconds to work with and a 3-point lead. Now you can vote now for the 2015 Pro Bowl. It's fantasy football for real. Select the best players at every position, regardless of conference, either online or on your mobile device. NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot. You know he'll be there.
No. It's all hype.
34 seconds, first time. Bortles, to your point, Adam, his confidence, you could just see it just rising. He's had some success, even going back to the Giants game. And Bortles wisely throws it away. Jed Fish told Blake Bortles, if you take a sack on a bootleg, you got to stand up in front of the entire offensive line and apologize to each and every one of them.
Yeah, but remember the first sack here, J.J. Watt gets the sack on the bootleg, but he was back there so fast. There's no way. I don't even think Bortles was able to break the tackle box on that bootleg. So, I don't know, maybe not all boot sacks are created equal.
Quarterback comparison. Bortles has thrown it a lot. He's hooked up with Lee. His touchdown came to Allen Hurns. Set it up. Here's Todman. And Todman at the 35-yard line. A gain of 5. Scobie had a game winner last week. His career long was 4 years ago, 59 yards. He has the wind at his back. It's a swirling wind, but it looks like the way he'll be kicking, he'll have a little bit of help. So Jacksonville with some work to do to get it in his comfort zone. Scobie was hitting him from 55, 57 yards in warm-ups today. Last week, gosh, Scobie hadn't been in this position very often, Adam, and he delivered when it counted.
It's been about 4 years since he's had a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. That's how long it's been. But Hey, you never know when your number is called. You got to go out there and make a play. They got a lot of work to do right here. 18 seconds left, no timeouts to get into field goal position. You still don't want to take any unnecessary risks. You give it an opportunistic defense a chance to score.
Third down. And he'll hand it to Todman. And Gus Bradley content to roll the clock and head to halftime with the lead. Now the Houston Texans playing without a net today. Jacksonville in week 14 coming off a comeback win last week. Impressive in the first half. They lead at 13-10 over Fitzpatrick. And the Texans into the first half. 13-10. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Halftime here in Jacksonville, and the Jaguars with the lead. Touchdown and a couple of field goals. Let's take a look at the Bose game changer in the first half.
Well, it was all about Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Bortles finding his young wide receiver, Allen Hurns, in the corner of the end zone to get their first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, a couple of rookies hooking up there, and Jacksonville came out. They've chewed up a lot of yards, a lot of time of possession. Houston kind of living up to their billing. They're giving up a lot of yards, but they've held Jacksonville to a couple of field goals.
The key for Jacksonville, you've done a good job on offense here in the first half. You had a 12-play drive and a 13-play drive, but you stalled in the red area. You have to find a way to get touchdowns here in the second half. And if you're the Houston Texans, you got to ride Arian Foster. Yeah. 88 yards so far in this game for him rushing. 68 of those came in that first quarter.
And 51 came on a single run, his longest run of the season. Take a look at the halftime stats, and a ton of possession time for Jacksonville. They converted on 4 third downs. The Texans were 0 for 6 in third down conversions. Andre Johnson, we've been told, will not return to this game. The Texans receiver will give you another look at the injury. Had 3 catches today. Underway in half number 2. Todman will bring it out, and Todman across the 25-yard line. All right, Adam, Andre Johnson, he took a vicious hit. This was a big play because of a penalty. It led to a touchdown, but he will not return.
Yeah, big play right there over the middle. The rookie linebacker, Telvin Smith, goes helmet to helmet. Looks like Andre Johnson loses some consciousness right there. He leaves the game, and that's a big part of their offense right now. DeAndre Hopkins, Damaris Johnson, they're going to have to pick up the slack, but I still think this game and their success revolves around the success of Arian Foster in the second half.
Hopkins with just 1 catch. So Bortles and the Jags open up the second half. That was deflected at the line. And the rain continues to fall here in Jacksonville. And you talked about the Jacksonville Jaguars, some of the keys, and no big plays. They've done a pretty good job other than the big Foster run.
Well, you know, Foster has been able to get loose a few times. I'm sure Bob Babbage, their defensive coordinator, is going to want to have those back. You know, that stat on first down, 1.6 yards per play, is a little misleading because on the drives they've had success with, they've been successful on first down.
Robinson plows ahead to the 29-yard line. Denard Robinson, who lined up in the Wildcat formation on 5 occasions in the first half. Back to your point about Jacksonville, go for broke. They've done some things here today. Been in the Wildcat. Robinson had a pass attempt today. Jacksonville, nothing to lose, 2-10. Just trying to continue the process, the building blocks. Allen Hurns in motion. Bortles. And he hits Lee in and out of his hands. Did he catch it? He did. Marquise Lee able to wrestle it in for a catch. And that should be good enough for a first down.
I don't know how he caught that ball. Marquise Lee was the star on offense for the first half. Really made some big plays, especially on some key third downs. Comes up with another one.
That's his 5th catch, 67 yards for Lee. Tony Gerhart gets the ball. And not much there. Marquise Lee, he has really figured out the NFL game. Having a nice day today.
Well, the last 2 games of the season, he's really started to come on. 9 catches for 127 yards. Today is more of the same. Great job going up over the top on one of their only explosive plays of the first half, but a guy that they should concentrate on trying to get the ball here in the second half in the passing game.
Almost lost it there. Bortles, little bit of indecision. It ends up in the hands of Robinson on the read option. Reed and Simon combined for the tackle.
John Simon just destroyed Luke Joeckel on an inside move to get penetration into the Jaguars' backfield. That was a pretty impressive move.
So 3rd down for Jacksonville. Had some success in 3rd down conversions, and Bortles on the move. Watt gives chase, and Bortles slips down. That's another sack for J.J. Watt, his second.
He was unblocked. How do you see number 99? He's unblocked. You've got Luke Joeckel on one side. You got Toby Gerhart on the other side. They completely drop him, and he just chases down Bortles from the backside. That's easy. I think Watt will take that any time.
That is his 50th career sack. Most of the AFC since he entered the league at 11. Sets up a punt.
Nice kick.
And that's a good kick as it bounces out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. Fitzpatrick and the Texans will have it next. Held the 99's. Watt coming off a sack the last possession. Marks has a sack and a half. Send Derek Marks making an impact. 6 sacks his last 6 games. Fitzpatrick gives it to Foster. And he is met by Telvin Smith. Well, Smith is all over the field. A flag comes in late.
Illegal use of hands to the face, number 97 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
On Roy Miller. So on the first Houston play of the second half, Jacksonville defense, Adam, they have had a lot of time on the bench. Houston ran only 12 plays in the second quarter compared to Jacksonville's 25 plays in the second quarter.
A little bit different than last week's game against the New York Giants. They're trying to balance things out.
Foster breaks free near the 30 out to the 29-yard line. Jonathan Cyprien with his second tackle. Well, the battle of the 99s. Watt making a run at an MVP. Marks having a Pro Bowl season. Haven't seen a whole lot of Marks though, huh?
No, that's the funny thing about numbers. You look at this and you say, wow. And Derek Marks having a fantastic game, but he's the more underrated. The guy kind of in the shadows nobody knows about. Everything that J.J. Watt does makes an impact, and you can see it play out like that here today in this game.
Marks playing on the inside has 8.5 sacks this season. 2nd and 2. And incomplete. Flag comes in. Fedorowicz, the intended receiver. Cyprien on the coverage.
Pass interference, number 13 offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Penalty on Damaris Johnson of the Texans. That'll back him up.
Yeah, they're running what they call a mesh play. These are crossers where they try and set kind of a natural pick from the wide receiver, and that's how Fedorowicz was able to get open. You're going to see the pick on number 52, J.T. Thomas, as Damaris Johnson comes in on the left side of your screen at the bottom right here. That's an easy call for the umpire.
2nd and 12. Empty backfield for Fitzpatrick. And looking for Foster. He's got him and comes up just short. Good gain on 2nd and 12 for the Texans. Josh Evans with the tackle. And it'll be 3rd down for Houston.
Good pickup right there for Ryan Fitzpatrick to Arian Foster to make this a 3rd and 2. And one of the things you notice about Houston They love running the ball in 3rd and 1 to 4, more than almost any team in the National Football League. Right now, they desperately need to pick up their first 3rd down of the game.
0 for 6 in the first half. Foster with Fitzpatrick in the backfield, and right on cue, he gets the ball. Plenty for the first down. So Arian Foster moves the chains for the Texans. Overcome a penalty. And Arian Foster just eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark rushing for the 4th time in his career.
He has such a great knack, great vision on how to run the zone running scheme. Plays off of the block of his right tackle, Derek Newton, perfectly. Picks up the first down, gives Ryan Fitzpatrick another set of downs.
1,002 yards currently. Arian Foster with 101 here today. Missed 3 games and still 3rd most rushing yards in the AFC. Dealt with a groin issue that knocked him out. That is long run of the year, 51 yards in the first half. It's Alfred Blue in the backfield this time. And Fitzpatrick, and it's in and out of the hands right through him. DeAndre Hopkins looking for his big play receiver. Tomorrow on CBS, fast cars, a star basketball player, military school cadets, and a serial killer all have something in common. Find out what on a mysterious new episode of NCIS Los Angeles. That's tomorrow, 10/9 Central, only on CBS. J.J. Watt hoping his offense can take him down the field. Texans trail by 3. Damaris Johnson, first down, out of bounds. Well, the speedy receiver, Damaris Johnson, out of Tulsa. A gain of 11. And the Texans keep it moving.
The emphasis in trying to get that running game going, I think, is very apparent to Bill O'Brien coming here after halftime, whether it is with Foster or trying to get different type of running plays, getting Johnson involved, trying to let him attack the edge of that Jaguars defense.
Ryan Griffin sets up a block. Foster right behind him and near midfield. Jonathan Cyprian, the Jags leading tackler, makes the play. Now the Texans' keys. What have you seen so far?
Well, Arian Foster is a big key, 100 yards so far. It's only the 3rd quarter. They've got to be able to at least double his carries. I think defensively, bottle up Blake Bortles. You know, he hasn't had a flashy half. Certainly has played a clean first half. They've got to continue to put pressure on Bortles and not let him make plays.
And Foster bottled up, nowhere to go. Ziggy Hood makes the tackle.
When you talk about this defensive line, yes, lately they've been getting after the passer, but they're kind of built to be strong against the run as well. Derek Marks playing inside over the guards is able to get that pass rush, but they're very active, especially when you talk about trying to move out Red Bryant at the point of attack.
6 running plays this drive. It is the 8th play of the drive. 3rd and 7 for Houston. Coming off their first conversion. And Fitzpatrick's going to tuck it and run. And Fitzpatrick is close. We'll see where the spot is. Looks like he might have come up short.
Hey, anybody touch it?
Fitzpatrick didn't slide. He dove. Might be one to take a look at here.
That'll be very interesting to see how this one played out. Bill O'Brien going for it. Remember, he went for it on 4th and 2 last week, and it paid off.
And they'll get it to Foster on 4th down, trying to get the edge. Foster, first down. And down goes a member of the coaching staff. He's all right. Feels good to get hit again.
I think that was DeAndre Hopkins out there. And that was Keyshawn Martin. Look at Keyshawn Martin, number 82 at the edge right there. Getting a block on Demetrius McCray and allows Foster to use his speed to get outside and pick up the first down.
So a 3rd down conversion and a 4th down conversion on this drive for Houston. And now Fitzpatrick wants to throw. And out to the sideline, there is Hopkins. It's only his 2nd catch. McCray on the coverage. Flag is down. Spotting it good enough for a first down. We'll see what the penalty is.
Illegal contact. Number 35 defense. That penalty is declined. Results of the play. First down.
Checking for an update in New York, JB.
Baltimore once in the playoffs.
Yeah, Kamar Aiken catches his Joe Flacco pass from 13 yards out as they now take the lead over Miami 14-10 in the third.
Ryan Anderson, Adam Archuleta.
All right, thanks, JB. Thanks, Coach. Here the Texans are driving, and this is Blue. The AFC North, talk about the Baltimore Ravens. Cincinnati with that tie sitting at the top of that division. Baltimore at 7-5.
Yeah, Pittsburgh in a battle here today, and that's one team that, you know, mathematically they're not going to be eliminated if they lose, but certainly it doesn't look good if they lose here today. So they're essentially in the playoff atmosphere as we speak.
Jacksonville will go to Baltimore next week. Houston has them at home week 16. Foster has got some room, and a good open field tackle by Jonathan Cyprien.
Great form tackle by Cyprien right there on the sideline. Foster is able to elude J.T. Thomas and Telvin Smith early on the run, but Cyprien comes over, cleans it up, puts a shot on him.
Cyprien with his 4th tackle, and with 83 tackles on the year, the best tackler for the Jags.
Another 3rd and 5. Look, Arian Foster was isolated outside on Telvin Smith. Now he comes back into the backfield.
Foster in the backfield with Fitzpatrick. And surveying across the middle, caught, first down and more. And Johnson fumbles. Hopkins is right there. And a break for the Texans. And another 3rd down conversion. So 0 for 6 in the first half for Houston. They've converted twice in 3 tries in the second half.
And more crossing routes, kind of pick routes. Boy, what a hit inside to force that fumble.
Sherrod Martin, 10th play of the drive. And here's Foster. Wrestled down, Aubrey Jones. Well, Houston knows they got their back up against the wall here. They have to win out. Started last week with that record-setting win against the Tennessee Titans. 6 touchdowns from Fitzpatrick. Rain's been falling. Most of the crowd here has left. So it's quiet, it's raining, and the Texans know that their season is on the line. It's going to be that way the rest of the year. If they lose, they're done. Alfred Blue on 2nd and 8, play action. Sets up the screen, and Keyshawn Martin muscles his way near the end zone. So another good gain on a hookup from Fitzpatrick to Martin. And the Texans will go hurry up here. 12-yard gain. First and goal. Blue. And Blue in the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. The Texans take the lead as Alfred Blue with his first of the season.
Well, how about making a statement for the Texans? 15 play drives, converting on multiple 3rd downs, converting on 4th down, running the ball inside, and then Alfred Blue caps it off with his first touchdown of his young career.
Now the rookie out of LSU, Arian Foster, going over 1,000 yards this season. He's carried it for 114, and Blue ends up in the end zone, and the Texans have the lead. Boy, what a drive. They're going to take a look at it as well. We'll take a break. 16 plays against Gus Bradley's D.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So Alfred Blue confirmed a touchdown, his first career rushing touchdown, and it gives the Texans the lead.
Well, it was close, but you see the extra effort right there. That knee does not hit it. The ball extends over the plane of the goal line. caps an unbelievable blue-collar drive for the Texans.
For the extra point, Randy Bullock. 17-13. Texans go 16 plays, 84 yards. They chew up 8.5 minutes, and they have a 4-point lead. Houston retakes the lead, 17-13. A reminder tonight, 60 Minutes. Is there a new way to treat cancer? A revolutionary doctor thinks so. Here is plans only on 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. Now the Texans doing it on the ground in a big way. 5 plays over 10+ yards. Now Jacksonville's turn. Let's see if they have an answer. Down 4. Todman out to the 28-yard line. Third quarter, Blake Bortles back on the field after this. That was the main attraction yesterday on the St. Johns River. The yacht of Shad Khan, the owner of the Jaguars and the Jags, and J.J. Watt smothering Denard Robinson.
This is how you destroy a run when they try and get right to you. He just tosses the left tackle right there, Sam Young, out of the way and gets into the backfield. Robinson has no chance. He is so strong and so powerful. I wonder what that feels like.
3 tackles for Watt, a 4-yard loss. And here's Hearns looking for more. And not much there for Allen Hearns. Kareem Jackson with good coverage. The AFC South, so Indianapolis and Houston will match up next week. Indianapolis currently in Cleveland. They have not allowed a loss since 1988. So the Browns trying to do something they haven't done in a long, long time, and they actually have a lead over the Indianapolis Colts.
21-7 in that game for Indy.
21-7. That'll be a big showdown next week. Bill O'Brien wanted to make sure there wasn't a look ahead. Remember last year, Texans fans know it well, the Jags swept the Texans last season. Oh, pick! Interception, Swearinger. Big play for the Texans. DJ Swearinger.
This is perfectly done. DJ Swearinger, he's in the box like a linebacker safety, but he's on the edge right there faking the blitz. He's going to have Toby Gerhart in coverage right here. He plays it perfectly. Bortles throws it to the inside, gets his head around, comes in with an easy interception. Nicely played by Swearinger, but that is a poor decision by Bortles.
Second interception of the season, 3rd of his career, and it gives the Texans great field position. Look at the takeaway number, 29 this year. That is the most in the NFL, and the points off the takeaways by far and away the most in the NFL. Foster, nothing there. J.T. Thomas with his 4th tackle of the day. We'll see how the Texans and their terrific defensive line hold up here after the turnover.
And these linebackers, they've really started to play well here the last few weeks. Once Paul Posluszny, their leader, went out, they've kind of shuffled it around a little bit. They moved Geno Hayes to the strong side, Telvin Smith to the weak side, J.T. Thomas in the middle. They've started to settle down a little bit, and they've made some big plays here at the line of scrimmage in this game.
Fitzpatrick down the middle, wide open, caught, and rolling toward the end zone. He comes up just short. Ryan Griffin touchdown just before he got into the end zone. And now Houston will hurry it up once again.
I don't know how Ryan Fitzpatrick saw that. He was looking to the right the entire time, and at the last minute flicks it out to his tight end.
25-yard gain. Foster bottled up, tripped over his own man. Telvin Smith there for the tackle. Well, the Texans trying to make the Jags pay for the interception. J.J. Watt enters the game, caught a touchdown pass last week. He has 5 touchdowns this season, 3 of them on offense. Watt in motion. They go away from him. Foster, and he's bottled up. Tyson Alualu with a big hit. So he's the distraction here, J.J. Watt.
A little decoy.
He's run out of bounds. JJ said it's like backyard football. He comes in, he has no idea what Fitzpatrick is calling in the huddle. Just a bunch of words. And then afterwards, Fitzpatrick will tell him a buzzword and where to line up.
And a little point.
I like what Derek Mark said, though. As we get to the end of the third, he goes, you better not let this guy touch the football. We'll see if he's going to touch the football when we come back. We go to the fourth quarter in Jacksonville. We open the fourth quarter. Goal to go for the Texans. They'll go Wattless here. Will the Houston Texans. And the ball on the one. 17-13. First possession ended in a touchdown for Houston of the second half. After the interception, they've got a chance to add to it. Third and goal. Fitzpatrick will run it himself, trying to get home. Did he? It's close. And he'll be stopped short. Fitzpatrick already has a running touchdown today. And Derek Martz on the penetration to keep him out of the end zone.
The same exact play to the other side. Last time it was a quarterback sweep right. This time it was a quarterback keeper left. And Derek Martz with the penetration to not allow him to get to the edge, and the inside pursuit was waiting for Fitzpatrick.
Well, Bill O'Brien take a timeout here.
I think you run Arian Foster right there on the goal line. You know, you've already got him once with a quarterback run. Give it to number 23.
All right, they want to think about it. We'll see what they do when we come back. Texans will go for it. Watt is back in. Fourth and a foot and a half. And Arian Foster, nowhere to go, breaks a tackle, touchdown! Arian Foster on his own. And the Texans cash in a TD. Swearinger had the big interception, and Houston makes the Jags pay.
What a big effort by Arian Foster. Off of the right side, it gets stuffed by the Jacksonville defense. He keeps his feet, works his way to the backside, and there is no backside contain. Arian Foster gets in the end zone.
Bill O'Brien took the timeout just as the field goal unit was coming on. They go for it on fourth down. And the great work of Arian Foster, who's now racked up 115 yards. And the Houston Texans, their first two possessions of half number two, have resulted in touchdowns. Arian Foster caps off a six-play, 26-yard drive. Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Texans just churning out the yards in the second half. They are plus 101 in the second half. Foster with a great run ends up in the end zone for a touchdown, and an 11-point lead caps off a six-play drive. And Adam, the interception set it up. Swearinger put him in a great spot as Bortles, who did not throw an interception last week, gives one away. Here's Todman, got a little room to run, and to the 33-yard line.
Well, it started with DJ Swearinger covering Toby Gerhart out of the backfield. Blake Bortles was late. They went for it on third down, didn't get to it. The quarterback coach George Godsey says, hey, you know what, Arian, let's try and punch this in on fourth down. And after Derek Marks blows it up on the front side, no backside pursuit, and Foster cuts it back to get 6 points.
It was Red Bryant who had him in his grasp and couldn't bring him down. Foster having a big day today when the Texans need him most. So we'll see if Jacksonville gets a response, and Watt with a sack as a flag comes in. J.J. Watt just powering into the backfield and takes Bortles down.
Holding, number 74 offense. That penalty's declined. Second down.
Been a tough day for Sam Young.
Tough duty. It started off early in the game, having trouble against the run.
10-yard penalty.
J.J. Watt with the speed rush on the outside with the dip and rip, getting under Young's pads, and gets to Bortles before he can get that ball off.
Third sack for J.J. Watt.
Mike 56, Mike 56.
Amazing, 51 career sacks for Watt. Came into the league at 11.
Green, that's it.
There's Bortles, play action, and hammered. And a flag comes in. Brian Cushing and Reed both in the backfield.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 58 defense. Illegal contact to the helmet. 15-yard penalty automatic. First down.
That's a big call. A little contact to the helmet. Brooks Reed, I beg your pardon.
Well, Brian Cushing, he's got Denard Robinson in coverage, but they send Robinson over to Sam Young's side to help him on J.J. Watt. And Cushing says, look, if my back is going to block, I'm going to come up inside, try and get a shot on the quarterback. And that was Brooks Reed with the personal foul inside.
All right, so first down. And Bortles again on the play action. Reed's in there again. Bortles scampers free and throws it away. Or the Texans really putting the pressure on. Remember last week, the Jacksonville Jaguars allowed 7 sacks against the Giants. This was close to a late hit. As Crick drops him.
A little love tap right there, you know. After doing a pretty good job in the first half of giving Bortles a clean pocket, right now, especially on this drive, it's all systems go for that Houston defensive front seven.
Yards differential in the second half, noteworthy. Oh, right off the chest up Cecil Shorts. Well, you got to have that if you're Jacksonville. And the Boo Birds are out here. Cecil Shorts had it right in his wheelhouse. Looked like he had a chance to run for a few yards as well.
You can't call a better play. You can't throw a better ball if you're Bortles. There's no inside linebacker to give underneath support. Cecil Shorts catches that ball. He's going to be able to run for a little bit before anybody touches him.
Got to spot J.J. Watt. Sets up to Bortles' right. Another third down for Jacksonville. Converted 5 in the first half. Bortles on the run and going for the long ball. Comes up short. Hearns never had a chance. Great coverage out there by Kareem Jackson. Step for step with Allen Hearns, and Jacksonville will have to punt it away.
A very difficult drive. You just never get a chance to get in sync. You had a negative play on first down. You know, you allowed Watt to come in there and destroy things. You got more pressure on second down. They're just not built to be able to throw the ball 3 straight times and convert on third and long situations.
Brian Anger to punt it away. And it's a good one. A boomer sends Keyshawn Martin. It bounces into the end zone. Houston will have the ball at the 20. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2 touchdowns in this second half. And one of the city's premier attractions, the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. Fourth quarter, 13:30 remaining, and Houston, you know they're going to go to the running game here as Alfred Blue. Take it across the 25. All right, Ryan Fitzpatrick, he has bounced around quite a bit. You knew him in St. Louis.
Yep.
And here he is putting together a couple of good weeks for the Texans. Beat his old team last week. Matter of fact, as a member of the Titans, the last time he was in this stadium, he drove the Titans to a game-winning drive, beating Jacksonville last year, last December. Said he figured some things out in his 2 weeks on the bench. Trying to be a little quicker. He's had a good day today. Very efficient. No interceptions. 10 for 16 passing. Has 96 yards. And he hits his man, and Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins springs free, and a nice gain for the Texans.
Well, this is a great example of mature route running. This is a skinny post, but just as he beats the corner to the inside, he keeps it upfield away from the free safety, and he gets an accurate ball from Fitzpatrick.
That's Hopkins' longest reception of the game. It goes for 28 yards. He has 3 catches for 49 yards after that monster week last week. Foster back there. He's got it. And wrestled down by Jonathan Cyprien. All about ball control here for Houston. Texans were down at the half, 13-10. And they've scored touchdowns on their 2 drives in the second half, eating up a lot of clock. And taking advantage of a takeaway, an interception thrown by Bortles. Griffin in motion. Foster And pushed out of bounds. Geno Hayes. That'll be a loss for Houston. Cyprian had the penetration. Yeah, what a day for Arian Foster. Adam, 124 yards. Gone over the 1,000-yard mark once again.
He's one of those backs, you watch him run, and it doesn't even look like he's trying out there. It's his style, it's like an effortless style, like a gliding style. He's a big running back, but he's got really good feet. He can change direction.
We got an injury on the field. Jacksonville player, and we'll take a break. Injured player was J.T. Thomas of the Jags. Walked off under his own power. We'll give you a look at that in just a moment. Setting up a 3rd and 12, though, for Houston. Just inside Jacksonville territory. Foster in the backfield with Fitzpatrick. And Fitzpatrick steps up, finds a short man. Here's Foster with some room to run. To the 37-yard line. Telvin Smith with the tackle. And it's going to be close, maybe just short. You see Thomas getting 10-2, retaping the ankle. They needed 12, they got 11. So it'll be 4th down, and the Texans are going to go for it again. Fitzpatrick redirecting Hopkins, and he got it. He barked it, and jumping across the line was Roy Miller.
Well, you got to be livid if you're Bob Babich and you have this team 3rd and 12. They throw a check down.
Encroachment, number 97, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
They throw a check down. You allow them to get.
Mistakes that just can't happen. Roy Miller, veteran in his 6th year. There's Bob Babich.
You had a chance. You did a good job on 1st and 2nd down. You did exactly what you wanted to. You forced Fitzpatrick to throw a check down. All you have to do is rally, make the tackle for a minimal gain. You allow him to get near the 1st down, and then you jump off sides and you give him a cheap one.
Well, 2-possession game with a 2-point conversion at this point with an 11-point lead. Houston trying to salt this one away. Blue in the backfield. And Fitzpatrick will throw it. Looking for someone. Good coverage. Now Fitzpatrick will slide down and picks up good yardage. Well, Thursday, Larry Fitzgerald and the first place Cardinals take on the Rams. Playoff chase heats up Thursday night football, 8 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. See if the Cardinals can get it turned around with a flurry to finish the season. 4 weeks to go in the regular season. Look at that ball control in this half. Only 15 minutes of offense for Bill O'Brien and the Texans.
It's virtually a flip of what happened in the 1st half with Jacksonville controlling the game.
Here's Blue. And the clock continues to churn. Very costly penalty. Roy Miller gives Houston a 1st down. Arian Foster is back in. If you're just picking us up here, Andre Johnson injured in the 1st half and had 4 catches, will not return.
We get a chance to redeem yourself here for Jacksonville on defense again. The area where they like to run the ball. Now they put Arian Foster, they split him outside. Watch Hopkins isolated inside on the slot.
3rd down, 9-play, Fitzpatrick, and he overshoots his man. Foster had sprung free. Geno Hayes, the linebacker, on the coverage. And it'll be 4th and 3, and out comes the field goal unit.
Geno Hayes, you see him, number 55. His eyes are right there. Foster runs by him. He has a chance. I think if he just keeps running, he might have a chance to just run under that football. But good job by the Jags, tightening up, now forcing the field goal. Give your offense a chance.
Slightly into the wind, Randy Bullock from 44 yards. And it hooks in, makes it a 3-possession lead for the Houston Texans. What a half it's been for them. 9 plays, they go 54 yards, they get another field goal. Gus Bradley's Jags in trouble now as Bullock knocks it through. They're trying a lot to cheer about on a rainy day in North Florida and Jacksonville, and the Houston Texans coming out with 17 unanswered points in this second half. They've scored on all 3 of their drives, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And they made it a 3-possession game, 27-13. First of 2 matchups between these 2 teams in the final 4 weeks of the season. Bullock kicks it deep to the end zone, and Jacksonville and Blake Bortles will take over at the 20. All right, keep in mind, Houston will travel to Indianapolis next week. The Browns have a 21-19 lead over Indianapolis. That could be huge with the Colts up 2 games in the AFC South.
It could, but you know, Indy, boy, they're coming back in that game. You could kind of sense that maybe they're about ready to take over there in the 4th quarter.
I'll keep an eye on that one for you. Meanwhile, we'll see if the Jags have an answer. They're going to have to go quick and go often and set up to Mercedes Lewis. He's got a lot of room to run. He plows over the DP and out of bounds. Mercedes Lewis, 9th-year pro out of UCLA, one of the great tight ends in Jags history, and a 35-yard gain. He is a mountain of a man at 6'6" and 270.
That's how you start off a drive.
Lewis has 3 catches. And a quick hitter out to Hurns this time. Hurns breaks free. And Hurns with good yardage. Alan Hurns, who caught the only touchdown reception, 16-yard gain.
Well, Kareem Jackson, I thought was going to make a terrific open field tackle, but Hurns, he's a big wide receiver, 6'3", 195 pounds, runs right through the tackle and picks up another big play.
Easy. Let's go, alpha, down. Hey.
Watch Marquise Lee right here, isolated by himself against Joseph.
Here's their explosive receiver. And the go route covered well then. Bortles on the run. A flag comes down. And Bortles finally taken down. It's Terrell Poe. And we'll see about the flag.
Holding. Number 85 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Penalty on Nick Jacobs, the tight end.
Put a tight end on him. They slide the protection, which means they get all the offensive linemen to move to the right. They want Jacobs to overplay to the outside, get the tackle on the inside. Holding penalty. Now you had 2 positive plays. You're looking at 1st and 20.
Watt has 3 sacks today. Also knocked down a pass.
58 sacks. Beta, down. Green inside.
Bortles with Watt in pursuit, and Bortles misfires with shorts. We check him in New York, got an update. JV and the coach.
Pittsburgh wants in. Watch this here at 94 yards. Ben Roethlisberger to Martavis Bryant. 18 unanswered points. Pittsburgh leads Cincinnati 35-21.
Boy, they are playing hard. Brian Anderson, Adam Archuleta.
Well, I got a couple of good finishes going on right there. You got Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Cleveland has a lead over Indianapolis. Look at the AFC North with Cincinnati on top, and Pittsburgh trying to join the Ravens perhaps. Second down, 20 here. And to a follow. Good tackle out there by Kareem Jackson in a short gain. Previous play, J.J. Watt might have tweaked his ankle a little bit, comes up limping.
I think he's got Wolverine material in there. I think he's already healed.
He heals quickly.
I don't think that's going to affect him one bit.
Now there is a superhero piece to J.J. Watt. Boy, what a player. Trying to become just the 3rd player in NFL history to win the MVP award. Hadn't been done since '86. 3rd down. And Bortles battled up the Texans. Strong defensively. That was Jamison first, and then Brooks Reed who finished him off.
It's got to be tough when you're playing quarterback and you set up. And again, you know, Watt doesn't get to him, but he drives the right tackle back into Blake Bortles' lap. And you know you just feel it. And so you get antsy back there. You try and climb up inside the pocket, but there's an inside presence. It's got to be tough to deal with as a quarterback when you get that kind of heat coming from the outside.
4th sack for the Texans defense. 4th and 20. Got to go here for Jacksonville. Nothing to lose. And hits Gerhardt, and Gerhardt is dropped by Jonathan Joseph. And the Houston Texans take care of business defensively.
I think you got to at least take a shot. You know, it's 4th down and 20. Throw the ball down the field. Give your receiver a chance. You know, you're sitting here in the 4th quarter. You have 2 wins, and you throw a check down on 4th and 20. I know that is one of those. I think you just throw the ball down the field. Let somebody go up there and try and make a play.
It's been another season of frustration for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Gus Bradley, he's a positive guy, energetic guy, talks about some of the building blocks that are being put in place here. Jacksonville barring a miracle here. They go to 2 and 11. As Blue and Prosh set up in the backfield with Fitzpatrick. And the Texans try to churn some clock away here.
Well, how about Blake Bortles under fire today? He came in here the most sacked quarterback in the National Football League. J.J. Watt gets to him early. Watt gets to him again. He gets pressure from the inside, rolling out from Jared Crick. It's been one of those days for Blake Bortles. Not very often has he had the chance to set up clean inside the pocket and try and deliver the ball downfield.
And the interception to Swearinger was the key moment in this game in this second half. Swearinger got the pick, put Houston at the 26-yard line, and then the Texans drove right down, scored a touchdown. Southwick Blue gets the ball again, working for yardage.
I think it's at that point, Brian, is where things kind of started to unravel a little bit. That interception kind of opened up the floodgates because they closed out the first half pretty well. You know, they had a 12-play drive, a 13-play drive. They weren't able to get touchdowns, but they controlled the ball and the clock. But boy, it's been a much different second half. Outside of a couple big plays on their last drive, they went into that drive -1 in total offense.
And Swearinger with his second interception of the season. Arian Foster is back in the slot, though. Here he comes in motion. 113 yards rushing today for Foster. Gets the ball. He's got room. Big hole. And Foster will hit the ground to keep the clock moving, and the chains are moving as well. What a day for Arian Foster.
Well, we knew he had to come in here and have a big day. This offense is centered in the run. Early in the first quarter, he breaks into the secondary for a big play. First half finished with 88 yards. Terrific cutback in traffic to get another touchdown. And here you go, just now, busting through the line of scrimmage, breaking tackles in the secondary and wisely staying in bounds to keep the clock running.
Arian Foster, 128 yards today, 3-time Pro Bowler. Missed 3 games with a groin injury. Then on top of his game today, Blue gets the ball this time. You think about Arian Foster, he goes undrafted, right? So he's over 100 yards today. That's his 32nd game over 100 yards. Most ever by an undrafted player. Priest Holmes had the mark. Foster was tied with him with 31 games over 100 yards. And Foster, who plays with a necessary chip on his shoulder, continues to put up the big numbers.
Yeah, coming into this game, 6th in the NFL in rushing yards, 4th in the NFL with averaging 5 yards per carry, 2nd with the number of 100-yard games this season, and 4th in rushing touchdowns. That's a guy you can build an offense around.
Well, J.J. Watt has had an impact here today. Timeout Jacksonville to stop the clock. Now Watt with 4 sacks. I beg your pardon, 3 sacks today, 4 tackles. Knocked down a pass.
A casual day.
Yeah, just doing his regular. no action on offense. He ran a few plays, but didn't touch the ball as Blue is bottled up. I had one of those weeks last week. Actually stole a few of the headlines from a great offensive day, but Watt doing what he does best here today against the Jags.
Terrorizing Blake Bortles the entire day in the passing game. They had no answer for him. They tried to single him up with their right tackle, Sam Young. They tried to bring running backs over there. They tried to block him every single way possible, but he always finds a way to make an imprint on the game, and he did just that today.
Emerging as one of the faces of the NFL, J.J. Watt from Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Played his college ball at the University of Wisconsin. You know, he was a tight end in high school. Went to Central Michigan as a tight end. That's what Bill O'Brien said. You know, he met him for the first time. He realized he had all this activity on offense. He wanted to move him around on defense and wanted to get him into some of his goal line plays. And Watt has taken advantage of those opportunities. After the Jacksonville timeout, quick hitter to DeAndre Hopkins. And a timeout, Jacksonville. That is their final timeout. Well, if a defensive player doesn't win the MVP this year the way Watt's going, I don't think it can be won. He's in there with a lot of quarterbacks this season.
Yeah, if he doesn't win it, it's impossible. I hate to say that word. You know, my case for Watt is simply this. You look at Rodgers and Manning, Luck and Brady. Look at their supporting cast. You got, you know, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, you know, the Thomases in Denver, Reggie Wayne and T.Y. Hilton in Indianapolis, and Gronkowski in New England. You look at this defense, it's the J.J. Watt show. He's the focal point every week, and he does it at a consistent level.
Outstanding punt by Shane Leckler will pin the Jags deep in their part of the field. All right, the AFC playoff picture. You got Indianapolis at 8-4. The 2 up on Houston for the division. All of those teams with 7 wins in the hunt. And Houston trying to join that group of 7-win teams. Houston at Indianapolis next Sunday. That'll be a key matchup, especially if Cleveland hangs on to win that game at home. Cleveland has a lead. 8 minutes left. The Browns are up 21-19 over the Colts. Todman slips down, and touchdown by Cushing. He's still there, still active.
He's still playing.
Well, the Blake Bortles project continues. It's his favorite target, Alan Hearns. Where are the Jags right now in your mind, Adam? Where do they go from here? They're putting some stakes down, but they still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, well, they've had to kind of overhaul things. They've totally rebuilt this roster. There's only 6 players from previous regimes. They're tremendously young on the offensive side of the ball. I think maybe a little bit too young. They've got some pieces on defense, but I think they need some veteran presence, somebody to teach these offensive players how to win and what it takes to be a pro to help the young guys develop.
Muhammad got his hand on that pass. Saw that score pop up. Cleveland has added to their lead with a little over 8 minutes remaining. And an injured Texan on the field. Matter of fact, Luke Jokel is down as well for Jacksonville. So 2 players down as we stop it here. 2:17 remaining. It's Tim Jamison, the injured Texan, on the field. Jokel is the injured Jaguar. Beg your pardon, Jokel is okay. And Jamison back to his feet. I beg your pardon on that. The wrong number.
You'll see Jamison right here, number 96. Engaged with Zane Beatles, rushing to the outside, and right there as he plants the outside leg when he hits the ground, you see how it gives way.
So Jamison will walk his way out. Big story for the Texans. The health of Andre Johnson, who left this game in the first half after a big hit from Telvin Smith after just 4 catches for Johnson. Second down and almost an interception. Hearns turned to the sideline, in and out of the hands of Joseph.
Well, you don't see that very often. Jonathan Joseph dropping a gift. You see Watt again trying to get to Bortles, and that one was just, I don't know where Bortles was trying to throw that ball, but watch Jonathan Joseph, it kind of just surprises him. He's waiting right there. That could have been a pick 6.
And it would have been his 3rd interception in the last 3 games. Took one back for a touchdown against Cincinnati in Week 12. Bortles on the run, lets it go. He's hit hard, and again, almost intercepted. That was Kendrick Lewis. And Bortles running for his life.
Yeah, throwing for his life, too. That was an awful decision to throw that pass. I know there's coming here towards the end of the game, and you're running all over the place, but you still got to take care of the football.
So again, the Jags will go for it. Jacksonville had a 13-10 lead at the half. Houston comes out 17 unanswered, and they've added to it 27-13 as Bortles finds his man. And getting close as we hit the 2-minute warning. I don't think he got it. We'll see.
It's close.
And they measure here. Well, if he's short, Houston will take over. They can run out the clock and get ready for Week 15. And they are short. And Jacksonville turns it over on downs, and that'll do it. 2-minute warning. Houston trying to make it back-to-back wins for the first time since the first 2 weeks of the season. Satisfying day for Houston Texans and J.J. Watt. They have a 27-13 lead. They have the ball. Can just run out the clock here. Don't forget, coming up on the Subway postgame show, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. They're there for the latest NFL scores and highlights. All coming up. Subway postgame show. And we got a lot of games to keep an eye on here. Sam Young has been on the wrong side of J.J. Watt's terrific day today with 3 sacks.
It's a tough day to get a starting assignment, I think.
Yeah, Austin Pastor injured last week. Young in there, and J.J. Watt removing the brace. All right, Adam, so Pittsburgh has a big lead over Cincinnati right now. Muddles the waters in the AFC. You've got Cleveland ahead of Indianapolis.
Yeah, 24-19 right now.
This is what is remaining. The Texans, remember, they go to Indianapolis next week, then finish at home against Baltimore and Jacksonville. Oh, this one not over yet. Houston knows their playoff scenario really started last week at 5-6.
There's a lot that has to happen, but I think, you know, Bill O'Brien, they certainly want to make the playoffs, but I think that the short-term goal was, can we put 2 games back-to-back? Can we play complete games? Can we play our best? Were they great in the first half? No, but I think to get a second victory in a row was a big step for Bill O'Brien.
So the first-year coach and the second-year coach come together. Bill O'Brien and the Texans, they win 27-13, the final. Houston stays alive one more week, and they'll head to Week 15 with 7 wins and 6 losses, and a showdown against the Indianapolis Colts on the road next Sunday. That's going to be fun. Subway postgame show coming your way as the Houston Texans take care of business. A lot of scores to catch you up on. JB and the guys standing by in New York. for the Subway postgame. Arian Foster, great day today. 127 yards, a 1,000-yard rusher once again for Adam Archuleta. I'm Brian Anderson. So long from Jacksonville. The Texans win again.